G'day, my name is Benjamin Carlisle. I'm a software engineer, I'm a systems engineer, and today we're going to talk about electronics parts. So, here's a fun little module I picked up off a website called GearBest. It comes with a little speaker right here, which is not soldered on. I've done a not great job of putting the solder together. It is then connected to this point and is able to connect to the main board of this module, which is a little voice recorder. It can run standalone or be controlled by Arduino, of course. Ta-da! This is the board, and it works pretty well. You have to be a little bit careful about ensuring that the current is pretty flat. A bumpy kind of current, a wobble in your current, is going to cause you some recording problems. But it actually includes a little onboard microphone and a number of other little features. So let's give it a try. I'll connect it to 5 volts on my regular supply. That is going to go into the VCC ground at the corner here. And it can be either controlled by 5 volt inputs or VCC inputs, or it can be controlled by this array of 3 buttons on the top. This is a YouTube video. So that's sounding pretty good through a regulated supply. It's going through my benchtop supply, it's coming through a linear regulator, and it's recording pretty well. The play E, that just requires that you press it once and it'll play the entire recorded message. And play L will play for as long as the play L is depressed. You can control all of these with pins as well. You can also do a few other things like pass through an alternative analog input source to this speaker. So that's the gist of this board. It's pretty useful, and of course you can test it with or without Arduinos. Now the second component I'll show you today is a little motion sensor. Here we go. This is also from GearBest. The lens has a habit of falling off. Let's put that back on, and we'll also give this one some power. I like these 2-pin or greater DuPont cables. They're very useful. These are female to female, and so they can take they can take power straight from my breadboard supply onto anything I really care to power with them. And usually VCC and ground are together, but actually in this case they are not. So let's change it up. We'll put VCC, we'll connect ground, and we need a signal wire. Now I can connect this to my power. I've got 5 bolts on both rails, so I'll connect up here. And I'll just demonstrate the function of this one by showing you the standard LED output test of the signal. Currently it is showing essentially silent, it's showing no signal, and that is because it has sensed motion. Now it has not sensed motion, so I get a high signal. So it goes high whenever everything is silent, when there's no motion. So I can then connect this signal output to play L, and what we should find is that whenever it's quiet, essentially when there's no motion, we should get playback. We'll take it to 5 volts. So the playback board is working correctly. It allows me to pause the playback at any time because we're on the play L connection. So that should be working. So you should be able to make out that light. It's currently high. Yeah, okay, so it goes high and it stays latched high, I think, for quite a while. So I think that's the reason that we're getting a full playback when it sees motion. There we go. But it'll tend to stay high for a while after it senses that motion. So one thing you can do with this, if you're so inclined, is to record a more creepier message. Mommy, Mommy, are you my mommy? And see how that goes. That's it. So that's playing as long as we see motion. So that could be a useful trick, and if you keep motion happening after that, it actually stops. So it can be a bit hard to find, and perhaps would be the right thing for someone in your life. So here are the items we looked at today. This is the ISD1820 audio sound recording module with trumpet. As you can see, it's unsoldered, and these are the images, as you can see. And here we have the infrared I052116 infrared motion detector sensor module, which can go up to 20 volts apparently. So that's useful. Doesn't seem to be able to go down to 3.3 volts, which would be useful with some of the ESP261 modules, Node MCU, that sort of thing. So yeah, the lens keeps coming off this one, and otherwise it seems to be okay. It just sort of latches on for a while when it sees motion, which is to be expected. But apart from that, it seems to be reasonable. So $5.12 for the sound recording module, and $2.65 for the infrared module.